Guys, welcome back to my channel. This is another deep set eye tutorial. I have a couple more tricks for you guys. I love to just kind of experiment on my own. I look through eyeshadow looks with people that may have similar eye shapes to me, or just makeup that I really want to try, and I just come up with ideas on how to make your deep set eyes look better. So in this video, I have a new brush. Well, it's not a new brush. It's a brush that I think works really well for deep set eyes. So I will try to link something similar. I could not find it online. And as well as a little bit of eyeshadow placement that is just going to kind of change up the way you do your makeup. So if you guys would like to see how I created this eyeshadow look and my tips for deep set eyes, then just keep watching. Okay, so first off, we're gonna go in with a brush that I have been loving for my deep set eyes, and this one I found at Winners. It is from the brand Beautopia or Beautopia, and I looked online. I couldn't find this brush, but I will try to link something similar, very similar to this brush. So it has a little bit of a thicker density. It's dome shaped, but it is wider. So we have like a round fluffy brush that you would use in the crease. This one is a little bit more dome, a little bit more dense, but what we really want is something a little bit wider across, and I don't really have anything like this in my collection. This one's a little bit wider, but it is angled, so you just want to have something a little bit more of like a rectangular shape to it. It's got a little bit of dome and a little bit of density to it. So this is what I have been loving, and I will show you why. So I'm going to use the KKW Beauty Classic 2 palette. She needs to forget about the like skin and come back to her makeup. It's so good. Her makeup is awesome. No, I'm not starting with this. Sorry. I'm using the lighter shade in there. I'm going to start with the Natasha Denona palette, and I'm going to use this blend color. It is got a similar kind of shade to like a bronzer, so grab any kind of bronzer that you really love that you would use as an eyeshadow. So okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to dip it into blend a little bit, tap off the excess, and then instead of going in this way, we're going to turn the brush this way, so it's giving us more of a even like brush across. What it's going to do is kind of hug that bone there, that crease in the eye. So we're going to hug along, and we're also just getting that nice blend on top of the brow bone. So we're getting exactly what we want. We want a little bit of a shade up here to recede the brow bone, but it's also giving us a nice blend in the crease. It's not like we're not losing the shade in the crease. It's not creating any harsh lines. It's just a nice smooth blend across. And I have just been loving this. So then you can turn your brush. You can turn it this way and come across underneath your brow. And as I always do, come down the bridge of the nose. And you can just take a bronzer for that. Maybe I'll grab a bronzer. Grab my butter bronzer. So you can just take a bronzer for that. So we're turning the brush the other way and coming down the bridge of our nose. And then just pat that in. It just creates a seamless line across, and it's just giving us also the shape that we want. You can see from one eye to the other that instantly this inner corner just brightened up by creating this warm shadow here. This has cool shadows, but by creating the warm shadow here, we're getting this bright inner eye, and it's just giving us more lid space to play with. I'm just going to show you on this eye. You can see the brush is like hugging the brow bone, and you're just getting that smooth finish. Like it's just, sometimes if you go in, so if you went in with the dome brush, you would get like uneven lines as you're kind of blending in the crease. You'd have to buff them out a little bit more, but just having this fluid motion over the eye is just creating more of a seamless, less patchiness blend, and yeah, it's working. All right, now I'm gonna go in with the KKW, and I'm gonna use this little bit of a cooler tone. So this is gonna be a little bit deeper looking than the golden color, and it's always good if you wanna get into cool tones to kind of use a base of a warmer tone first, because it just warms up the eye. You don't need any added extra like cool tones in and around your crease. So warm tones first, and then I'm gonna go in with this cooler taupe color, and I'm just gonna stick to the outer corner of the eye. So again, just turning the brush this way works really well with deeper tones, so you're getting into that corner. Sometimes I find I have a hard time when I'm using just a round brush, like a more of a dome shaped brush, and you're blending in that inner corner and it's not getting right in that socket. But just using this little bit of a flatter, bigger, rectangular brush gives me more precision in those inner corners, and it just fills up that little gap that sometimes I have to pack extra color into. And this is great for when you're using darker colors too. It just gives a nice even blend, and it just hugs that inner corner. It hugs that brow bone so perfectly that you just get such a smooth finish. All right, so I'm going to go back into the Natasha Denona, and I may even darken up the outer corner a little bit more. So I'm going to go in with the tone Smoke here, and this is a little bit of just a neutral, flat, matte brown, and I'm just going to tap off the excess using that same brush and the same technique of just turning it on its side, and you're just getting a really, and when you go in the bottom corner, you can just turn the brush parallel with the lash line. You want to bring it in on the lid a bit, and then just go back to holding it a little bit more vertically, and it's just going right in. Perfect. I'm just going to go in with a fluffier brush from e.l.f. This is just a fluffy eye blending brush, and I will just go through and blend all of the tones together just to kind of take out any harsh lines, tone down that dark color just a little bit. I don't want it as dark as it looks, so I'm just going to blend in throughout. Now I'm just going to clean up that outer corner with a pointed Q-tip and a little bit of micellar water, and I'm just going to clean out that edge a bit. You can go in after underneath with a little bit of concealer if you want. Some people like to just start off with their eye makeup at first so they can clean it up after, like before they put on the rest of their makeup. That's always a good option. I'm going to jump back to the KKW palette and just go into this just really neutral tone and my Jaclyn Hill brush from Morphe. And I'm just gonna put this all over the lid. This is just gonna clean up any darkness on the lid, just blend it through. And I'm just gonna follow in to the crease here. So that is just creating bigger lid space right here. I'm just gonna follow into the crease, and it's just, I'm gonna take it on this side too, and you're gonna just see how like the crease would end here, like my eyelids here, but just going in over top of that with this neutral tone is just creating a bigger lid. Blend this up into the crease a little bit as well. All right, this is the other placement of eyeshadow that I'm noticing. I'm seeing it a lot on Kylie Jenner. I've seen it on Kim Kardashian's eye looks. I'm just kind of studying the placement of the eyeshadow, and I'm thinking that this would work really well for deep set eyes. Kylie kind of almost is there with the deep set eyes, like not so much. She's still really young, but I think as she ages a little bit, she's gonna kind of start to get that eye shape. So I'm just gonna take this small pointed detailing brush. I think this is from Real Techniques. Yes, it is. So it's really small and flat and kind of has a pointed edge, so you're gonna get more precision. And now I'm gonna go into that really light shade from the KKW palette, so any kind of light ivory bone shade. I like it more to have a little bit of warmth to it. So we'll go into that. This one's pretty pigmented too. And the eyeshadow placement that I'm really noticing is that just this inner detail right here, this spot right here, you're kind of like highlighting where you would contour against the nose. So you can even just bring that up into the eyeshadow, like into right under your eyebrow there. And like we still have the detailing from the contour here. We still have our shadow and our contour and our shadowing here to push back, but just taking that little bit of lightness in through this area and up. You can go up into the brow because you'll just blend through, really kind of highlighting that inner area. Just takes away a lot of those harsh shadows. So you can go in with darker tones. Let's blend this up. Just blend it out. Like you don't want it to be so obvious. So I'm just gonna take this brush and just blend it through. But it's just adding that extra contrast and highlight right in with your nose contour. And it just kind of brightens the eyes there, just takes away a little bit of that shadowing. So I'm gonna try, let's take a little, this is just a really old brush from a high school makeup set. So you can even go in with, let me find a different, let's go in with our bronzer. No, let's go in with something a little darker. Okay, let's go back to the blend color. So you can even take that now and you can come down that inner corner there if you want, and just kind of follow through like that. Like you can just create more depth in the inner corner, just putting that little bit of highlight there. And you just follow along the line. You can just continue your crease line going above, like I'm not going in here. I'm going above that just to keep that nice lid space. This eye is my bad eye. Like, it just is not as awesome as this eye. It just isn't. But you can just do a little bit more detailing. It just adds a little bit of something else. Opens the eye a little bit more. Especially if you want, like I don't want to right now, don't want to do a heavy eye, I have to go to work, but you could go in with a darker color here and just it creates that little bit more of a lid space if you did want to go in with like anything foiled or shimmery, like you could really, I should just do it so you get the picture. So let's take this shade, this golden shade, and this pointed brush. And you can just follow along, go all over the lid. Got all your shading and tones underneath, so you have your deepness here. This will be nice and bright in the middle. And just kind of follow that guideline right there. And it just creates a different way of doing your eyeshadow. Just add something a little bit more structure to the eye. You can see that light highlight there. All right, so I put some eyeliner, I just tightlined a little bit, and some mascara, and now you can see, I'm just gonna kind of try to take away a little bit of the ring light, but you can see that highlight. It just adds something. It just adds like lightness there. It adds structure. I just love the way it looks. I don't even know if they are actually adding eyeshadow there or if that is just the shape of their eyes and that's just a reflection that the camera gives, the lighting gives, whatnot. But I think that it really helps with deep set eyes. Just take away the coolness there, the cool tones that we have in the inner eye. It just adds a little bit more structure to the eye on the inner corner and just around the lid. Like, I just think that looks so good. Like, it just helps so much with the eye. And just using that brush just gives you a good guideline, gives you like more product for less amount of time, and just creates a nice seamless crease line, I think. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my next few tips for deep set eyes. Like always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again soon.